Setting up your Verizon Fios Wi-Fi router in 2026 is actually much easier than most people expect. But if you miss even one small step, you can end up with slow internet, connection drops, or devices that just won't connect. So in this guide, I'm going to walk you through everything in a smooth, beginner-friendly way, like you're setting it up with me right now, from the moment you open the box, all the way to getting fast, stable internet across your home. First, once you receive your Verizon Fios router, take everything out of the box and make sure you have all the essential components. You should see the router itself, a power adapter, an Ethernet cable, and sometimes a coax cable depending on your setup. The router is usually sleek and compact, with LED indicators on the front and ports at the back labelled clearly for power, WAN, LAN, and sometimes coax. Before you plug anything in, choose the best location for your router because placement matters more than most people think. Ideally, you want it in a central area of your home, not tucked away in a corner or behind thick walls, because Wi-Fi signals spread outward, and obstacles like concrete, metal, and even large furniture can weaken the signal. If you place it too far from where you actually use your devices, you'll experience slower speeds no matter how fast your plan is. Now let's start connecting everything. If you're using fiber directly, you'll have an ONT, which stands for Optical Network Terminal. This is usually installed by Verizon and acts as the bridge between their network and your home. Take the Ethernet cable and connect one end to the Ethernet port on the ONT and the other end to the WAN or Internet port on your router. If your setup uses coax instead, connect the coax cable from the wall outlet directly into the coax port on the router. Once that's done, plug the power adapter into the router and then into a wall socket. Turn it on and give it a couple of minutes to fully boot up. You'll notice the LED lights start blinking and then stabilize. This process can take anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes, so don't rush it. Once the router is powered on and stable, the next step is connecting your device. You can use your smartphone, laptop, or tablet for this. Look for the default Wi-Fi network name, also known as the SSID, which is usually printed on a sticker at the back or bottom of the router. There will also be a default password listed there. Go to your device's Wi-Fi settings, select that network, and enter the password exactly as shown. Once connected, open a web browser and type in the router's default IP address, which is typically something like 192.168.1.1. This will take you to the router's admin login page, where you can start the setup process. When the login page appears, you'll be asked for a username and password. These are also usually printed on the router label. Once you log in, you'll be guided through an initial setup wizard. This is where you can customize your Wi-Fi name and password. Don't skip this step because using the default credentials is a security risk. Choose a strong password that combines letters, numbers, and symbols, something easy for you to remember but hard for others to guess. You can also set different names for your 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz bands if you want more control, or keep them combined under one smart network name if your router supports band steering. After setting your Wi-Fi name and password, the router will apply the changes and may restart. Once it comes back online, reconnect your device using the new Wi-Fi credentials you just created. At this point, your internet should already be working, but there are a few extra steps you can take to optimize your experience and avoid future issues. Go back into the router settings and check for firmware updates. Keeping your router updated ensures better performance, improved security, and compatibility with newer devices. Most modern Verizon routers have an automatic update option, so you can enable that and not worry about it again. Another important thing you should do is position your router properly if you haven't already. Try elevating it slightly, like placing it on a shelf instead of the floor, and avoid putting it inside cabinets or behind TVs. If you have a large home or multiple floors, you might notice some areas with weak signals. In that case, consider adding a Wi-Fi extender or mesh system to expand coverage. This is especially helpful if you're streaming, gaming, or working from different rooms. Now let's talk about connecting your devices. Start with the most important ones, like your phone, laptop, smart TV, and gaming console. Simply go to each device's Wi-Fi settings, select your network, and enter your new password. If you have smart home devices like security cameras or smart speakers, connect those as well. If any device struggles to connect, double check the password and try restarting both the device and the router. Sometimes a simple reboot solves most connection issues. For those who want the best performance possible, especially for gaming or streaming, consider using a wired connection. Plug an Ethernet cable directly from the router into your device. This gives you a more stable and faster connection compared to Wi-Fi, with lower latency and fewer interruptions. It's a small step that can make a big difference if you're doing anything that requires consistent internet speed. If you ever run into problems during setup, there are a few quick fixes you can try before contacting support. First, restart your router by unplugging it, waiting about 30 seconds, and plugging it back in. Second, check all your cable connections to make sure they're secure. Third, confirm that your ONT is powered on and working properly. If the issue persists, you can reset the router to factory settings by holding the reset button at the back for about 10 to 15 seconds. But keep in mind, this will erase all your custom settings, so you'll need to set everything up again from scratch. Security is another important aspect that people often overlook. Besides setting a strong Wi-Fi password, you can enable features like WPA3 encryption if your router supports it, disable remote access if you don't need it, and create a guest network for visitors so they don't have access to your main network. These small steps help protect your data and keep your network safe from unauthorized access. Finally, once everything is set up and running smoothly, take a moment to test your internet speed in different parts of your home. This helps you understand where your signal is strong and where it might need improvement. You can use any speed test tool online, and if you notice slow speeds, try adjusting your router placement or reducing interference from other devices. By following this process step by step, you'll have your Verizon Fios Wi-Fi router fully set up and optimized in no time. It might seem like a lot at first, but once you go through it, you'll realize it's actually straightforward and even a bit satisfying to get everything working perfectly. And the best part is, once it's done, you can enjoy fast, reliable internet for streaming, gaming, browsing, and everything in between without constantly worrying about connection issues. Up and optimized in no time. It might seem like a lot at first, but once you go through it, you'll realize it's actually straightforward and even a bit satisfying to get everything working perfectly. And the best part is, once it's done, you can enjoy fast, reliable internet for streaming, gaming, browsing, and everything in between without constantly worrying about connection issues.